What's up guys, Nate Petrosky from Narrowway Homestead. Today, I want to talk about Jackery's newest product, which is the HomePower 3000. Somehow or another, they keep putting more and more power in smaller and smaller things, and this thing's really cool. I don't normally go over the specs first in a video, however the specs to me are so impressive on this thing, I do want to touch on it initially. I want you to check that out. 3600 watts pure sine wave. And just over 3000 watt hours of power storage, and I don't normally show the box, but I really appreciated them putting these cardboard cutouts in here. Most times these boxes are somewhat heavy and it's really nice to be able to grab it. This thing weighs less than 60 pounds and it is really not that big of a unit physically, but besides lots of power and capacity in a small box, there is something unique about this Jackery compared to the other ones I've shown off and used over the past few years. And yes, this new one is much cleaner, but I actually use my Jackeries. This one is designed not just to be a portable power generator, but rather a home backup. It has a UPS function to power your devices in a power outage, like your fridge, your internet, your phone, lights. Installation of this to your appliance or whatever you want to back up is quite easy. You can obviously back up multiple things. With a built-in 3600 watt inverter, you would be able to have a fridge, a window air conditioner, anything you can plug into a 110 socket, you can plug into this. To install and use it as a backup device, you simply plug in what it is you want to back up here. You take their included power cord and plug this into your wall outlet. Before I do that, I want to go over this thing in detail so you guys know exactly what all there is to it. It's really not a whole lot. This is your AC plug. This is where you plug it in your wall outlet. This is where you can plug in their solar panels, which I will connect to this later. You've got some resets, and we'll move over here to the other side. Oh, look, nothing to figure out. Awesome. Everything else is on the front. You've basically got a power button. You've got your standard DC 12 volt. This is a 30 amp plug. You could plug something in here pretty heavy duty, like say an RV, for example, if you're trying to back up an entire RV, or you can just plug in your conventional stuff here. You've also got USB-C ports, 100 watt max, and USB-A 18 watt ports. These things are just simply turned on by pressing this button. And with the AC plug, same thing. Just press the button and that's what's on. You guys have been watching my channel for any length of time know that I love building solar and wiring all kinds of stuff up, but for most people, they really don't want to learn all this, figure it out, diagnose it, anything like that. And I can assure you the HomePower 3000 is much simpler than all my other home-built solar stuff that I've got going on and much better suited for the average user. All right, I'm gonna grab this, take it down to the kitchen, and install it. I'm gonna walk you guys through the installation. First, put it where you would like. Most people will probably put it more out of the way. I'm gonna take my refrigerator, press the AC to turn on these receptacles, and it's already running, we're on. We're not done with the install yet. We're gonna take this cord, plug it into the Jackery. This will keep the Jackery charged during normal power. Whenever your outlets have power, plug it in there. That is the install process. Now, my refrigerator is backed up in case something happens with my home-built solar, or as I have planned. I'm switching different things here in the near future, and I will have outages, and I won't have to worry about the refrigerator because it'll stay plugged in. This is currently acting as a UPS unit. You can see I've got it gives you all kinds of cool numbers. My fridge is currently pulling 194 watts. This is a brand new fridge, like brand new, nothing even in it yet, but I am not even sure what power it pulls, so it's really handy to have this display to let me know what's going on, lets me know what's happening with my appliance. The last fridge I had here actually was failing and pulling a lot of power, and if I had it plugged into a Jackery, at one glance I would have known, oh, something's not right. It's got an estimate of 13.6 hours running this fridge at the way it's currently running. However, a refrigerator does not run all the time, so it's going to have times where it's just off and resting for a few hours, and I would imagine 1 to 2 days is a really great estimate for how long that would run it if I have a power outage. So let me give it a power outage. I like to use the lights, if you guys can see, because it's daytime. You can show the light and you'll see how fast when I pull the plug. Well, there you have it. Jackery is no longer plugged in. That simulates a power outage is somehow failing. And my fridge is still running. Everything's still good. And because I can't help but but play around. I'm plugging in all kinds of things. I've got a fan plugged in. I've also got my reverse osmosis water filter plugged in here. All of that actively running. And yeah, this water filter is filling the pitcher from the bottom. It's pretty cool. Yeah, we've still got 11 hours of continuously running like that, but the water filter will soon stop. Fridge will shut off, and I still haven't plugged this in. What I'm actually doing is trying to drain that down a little bit so I can show you guys different ways to charge it. What I have here is the Jackery Solar Saga 200. I'm going to show you guys. This is not my first time using one of these. These are pretty cool. There's my cords. This will be very important. Let's see, they have made some updates to them from last year. Basically, this is a 200 watt panel, but it folds into a small compact package. Loosen this up. You can adjust the angle that you need. The other thing I'm noticing on the back side is that's actually, I'm pretty sure that will pick up any light that reflects off the ground back at it. They're always making improvements to this stuff. Let's get it positioned. Look at where the sun is. It's not overly sunny. It's rather hazy today. It will do something. Hopefully that thing's discharging itself. Got the instructions. I've got this cord. Oh, cool. Check this out. You can also do a USB-C or A off of this. That's new. That's very cool. And then one of these sides, I've got a spot to plug this in right on the back here underneath. And then this would just simply go to the Jackery. Except for I set it up so fast, I'm sure the Jackery is still at 100%. So we're gonna have to wait a minute. I'll go figure. I'm trying to drain it down, but like I told you guys, certain things shut off after a while. So now all I've got is the fan going, and it says I have 74.2 hours, which we're probably gonna be right in the middle of there. We're gonna look at 1.5 days, somewhere around there, depending on how much the fridge is opened and closed. Remember how I told you guys you can do 3,600 watts. I could grab a table saw in addition to all this, plug it in here and run that. I know what'll take a whole bunch of power. An electric cooktop. Jen's gonna make some hummingbird nectar. There we go. Now we're pulling some power. Electric cooktops pull a ton of power. You'll notice if you do hear any sound, you're probably hearing fan sound or the cooktop. This thing is really quiet, way better than a gasoline generator for trying to use indoors. And then if for some reason while you're using it, the power is restored, nothing changes, you're still good. And then we'll do a power outage. And everything's still working. And we're finally starting to drop, so I can show you guys charging with the solar power. Jen's already got that done. We only got down to 97%, but again, that's because there's 3,000 watt hours of storage in this to put this to the panels. Now you don't necessarily have to pick it up and carry it and walk it all around because they do have extension cables and other things. It just depends on your situation, how you want to orient panels to it. You can also run an extension cord off of the Jackery. I was sitting here kind of mind boggled as to why there was no input, but then it suddenly became apparent to me. There are different style plugs. Jackery does include this to go to different types of Jackeries. Now I've got input. Got about 142 watts coming in. It's going to take 0.9 hours roughly to charge what we used. And that's not with pristine, perfect sun, perfect angle or anything. It is somewhat cloudy and hazy. I'd still call it a sunny day, but you're not getting quite as much as you normally would. To be honest, 135 watts when the sky looks like that, I'm pretty impressed. Even my angle of the panels, just judging by the sun, isn't perfect. You might be able to squeak a little more out. They've got this handy gauge. You want that shadow of that dot to be kind of hard to show directly. I'm glad this thing is flexible to deal with my uneven terrain. That is a little bit better where the shadow should be. Let's see if it made any difference. Don't fully charge on me before I get this figured out. It's about the same, but of course it can vary because the sky will vary and those clouds will all change. But that's pretty much the unit. It's the home backup unit. Of course you can throw it in your truck and go camping with it, as well as all the normal power station things. But it is really nice to be able to use it as a home backup primarily, and then if you need it somewhere else, it's very portable, or you can just leave it there and know that your fridge and all your devices are taken care of. That's pretty much it on the HomePower 3000. You can definitely check out all the links below for more information about it. One thing I did forget to mention is not only is it 3,600 watts of pure sine wave power, but it's 7,200 watts of surge. So if you have multiple refrigerators and a window AC unit plugged in, and they all kick on at the same time, you're gonna have a surge that's probably over what that's rated for, but that surge is designed to handle 1-ish seconds of a compressor kicking on, pulling more and then they quickly back off, then it will just be able to run. So they really did design this to be something that is really good for home backup. Hopefully I preemptively covered all the questions you guys would have, but if I failed to do so, please leave me a comment below and I will do my best to get back with you, answer any questions I may not have covered. Thanks for watching.
Vision narrates his life, cutting firewood, draining beasts away from city strife. The ducks they roam freely, a quiet army true. Muscovies in the meadow, foraging in the dew. Lord, minion, small but